Alright gamers, welcome back. World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Ironman Adventures episode 80. We're back. Let's jump into the world, shall we? A Blizzard employee will never ask for your password. It's kinda true. Only kinda. New Nova World buffs update? Okay. I don't know. I just open up the add-on panel, hit update on all the add-ons and jump in, so. Alright, tonight we've got a couple things to do in the Badlands before we get out of here for the time being. And that is mostly just get these torn scroll fragments, the crumpled scroll fragments, and the singed scroll fragments. And then after this, I think we're going to head back to... What's the play? Probably go back to Fel'zerul, turn that in, head back up to the marsh, possibly, and do these 3 quests. And then probably continue on with Stranglethorn, or yeah, it's probably more likely that we'll head to the Swamp of Sorrows and continue, or start this zone here. I mostly just want to get the flight path here for sure too, but hey, wanna Pew Pew Scarlet Monastery Armcath? I'm not even gonna respond. I tell so many people that, like, oh, sorry, I'm solo self-found, I can't, and then they're like, well, you could still do dungeons, you could still group up, and it's like, not in my particular instance, unfortunately. We've made a self-found rule. No dungeons, no groups, no trading, no auction house, nothing. I gotta do it all completely on my own. If I want to do a dungeon, I've got to do it completely on my own. Alright, let's see what Lotwill has when we turn in these bracers of rock binding. Now, since the last time we played, I did farm a little bit of gold just from like going around mining and checking if the elites that I'm like currently farming were up, and those elites are Nimar the Slayer. We're trying to get his cloak. I haven't seen him once yet, but I would love this cloak. The dark hooded cloak looks sick, first off. It's a long cloak. We don't have one of those yet, and its stat values are insane. Let's take a look at it one more time. 10 agility, 4 strength. This thing is crazy good. So yeah, I check this cave where the Geomancer flint dagger is, hit all of the ore in here. I run down here, check for Nimar, hit all of the ore. I go over to the Atal'ai Mountains. We look for Logrash. We found him once, and I did get the pacifier off of him, which is a nice free 1 gold. If I was a druid, this thing would be crazy, or even a warrior. I would love this, but ideally we're looking for the shoulders from him. Haven't found him a second time, but there's tons of mithril and iron here. And then I also check in Amber Mill for the spell scribe. I found the spell scribe once, and I got this belt, the jewel encrusted sash. But we're ideally looking for the black tabby cat carrier, so I can have a cat pet in game like my cat in real life. And then I'll just kind of hit that loop, right? I'll start in the Arathi, hit the cave, come down here, hit Nimar, go up to the mountains, look for Logrash. By the time that we've cleared out Logrash, we go over to Silver Pine. We look for the Dalaran spell scribe. He's not up, and then kind of rinse and repeat, or I just get off. But yeah, so in that time, I've made 35 gold just from like gray items, pickpocketing mobs, selling excess iron bars, and we spent 10 of it on a new bank slot. We bought that bank slot for 10 gold, and I put the remaining heavy brown bag that we had in there. So now our bank isn't as stressed. I need to organize it a little better, but it gives us extra space, and that also frees up space in my bags. So it was a great purchase. I definitely want to get the next one too, but it's 25 gold, and then I'd need another 2 gold for a bag to go there. But I think with 4 slots, we would be good for the rest of the game. So Lotwill. Study of the elements rock. The stone slabs you found were ideal, Baalumbra. Lucian will be taking the extra ones back to Keranos when we're done here. After all, they could provide useful again. For instance, they'd be a nice basis for a handy little shelter once I start looking into a multidisciplinary approach to high-yield explosives. Lotwill's voice trails off as he goes back to his experiment.
Adventurer, have you ever considered becoming a research assistant? No, I'm not sure what I'll do without your abilities here. Intelligence, curiosity, and strength all combined into one package. Be seeing you.
Cooler heads prevail. I'm pretty sure we have this hidden for a reason. I think it's a quest in...
Let me tell you something about frost oil.
Yeah, okay, that's why. We need frost oil, and you have to be an alchemist to get frost oil. So, stone is better than cloth.
I know how cheap Lotwill can be, adventurer, so let me make you something for all your troubles. Maybe it'll even help protect you from the coming atrocity that is Lotwill's newest invention. I've been working with all the extra stones you collected for him, and I can make some nice bracers that you might want to use. They're enchanted, of course. I'll just need patterned bronze bracers crafted by a blacksmith so I can complete the bracers I'm making for you.
How does that make any sense? They're male bracers made by a blacksmith, and you're going to turn them cloth? Either way, I can't do this one either. So let's go ahead and just hide that. And all that's left here for now, at least, is Uldaman Reagent Run and Broken Alliances, but we can't do those just yet, especially Broken Alliances. That's one I want to try and take on in the future, possibly. But it sounds like it's a really hard quest, but the reward from it is crazy. And then the Ultimate Reagent Run, I think I just have to sneak past a couple elites. I'll do that when we're a higher level and I feel more confident that I could sneak past them without being noticed. But for now, we're going to go grab the Lost Scroll fragments and then probably head to the Swamp of Sorrows. Grab the flight path, do some quests here. And then after that, we'll continue on with, like I said, the marsh, finish up any business we have over here, and then the south of Stranglethorn Vale. I mean, I don't really care about iron that much. But I guess if I can get it real quick, let's try and get it. At this point, I'm just like vendoring, NPCing all my heavy stone, my iron ore. I make it into bars and then I sell it. Because we've got tons of bombs. I'm basically completely on Myzrael at this point. Our mining has hit 268. Our engineering is 252. Very, very good. Mace skill 218. Oh, there's Anathemus again. That's the third time we've found that rare. Daggers are 218. Maces at 218. It's beautiful. Yeah, Anathemus, an elite rare. Can't really handle him. He does have a really nice helmet, though. The Kabbalist helm. As well as a cloak. And then this quest was... Solution to Doom. I'm pretty sure this one was in Uldaman as well, right?
Oh my,
yes.
Oh my.
I saw the words go to Uldaman. Sorry. Some of these that say go to Uldaman are like on the outskirts of Uldaman, and we'll check that out later. I think right now it's too dicey to do that. I don't really want to sneak past a bunch of elite mobs that are my level and go into a cave where I could just, you know, easily die. That sounds really scary to me. Okay, the final rock elementals. Enraged rock elementals. This whole zone I've just fought rock elementals. It's annoying. Let's keep them over here. Put the daggers on. Ah, fuck. He spotted me. Something tells me these are going to be tough. They're not hitting too hard just yet, thankfully. Might go ahead and pop one of the barbecued buzzard wings here. So a little news update on that job that I was applying for. I haven't heard back from them, but I did get another lead on another position that I'm going to try and get, which is with the railroad. It's a really good gig, full benefits, retirement fund, great pay, solid hours. I've worked with trains before. It's always been my dream job. I have 3 dream jobs since I was a kid. One was being a conductor, which I'm applying to be now. The other was to be a chef, and I was in culinary school for a while and worked in many different restaurants, but you realize, like, being a chef is not what it's cracked up to be. It's a lot of long hours, pretty rough pay, if I'm being honest. Like, unless you're working in some of the best kitchens, like, the pay is not that great. There's not really good benefits or retirement. They don't really look out for you the best, and you're just like living in a kitchen, like 60-hour work weeks in a kitchen. When you get off, you don't even want to cook for yourself. Kind of sucks. I think I'll keep cooking as a passionate hobby of mine. And then the third dream job for me was to do anything with my computer that gave me the freedom to basically like work remotely, work from home or whatever. And I was getting my education in cybersecurity, but right now the tech industry is really down, and it's hard to find a job in anything as far as like tech. And that's just because, like, after COVID, things got pretty bad for the tech industry, if we're being honest. But so yeah, this is a job that I would be very, very passionate about and could possibly make a career out of. So I'm pretty excited. I have an interview with them on the phone tomorrow in the afternoon. And then that will probably lead into a follow-up interview. And if I get the position, I'd probably look to start in about 2 weeks, so the start of next month. So the start of June. And if I did get that position, again, you know, the frequency at which I'm posting videos would slow down a little bit. I still plan on continuing to post, but I just wouldn't be able to post as much.
Warning.
Come on. Whew, that was a little scary. Wouldn't be able to post as much as frequently as I am right now, because I'm only working part-time right now as I'm doing school. So yeah, that would slow down a little bit, but I would still continue to post. I would probably just go to 1 or 2 games consistently, and then have like WoW as a hour before bed every night kind of thing. Like, I'd probably get off, record a video for our main game. Like, I think the next game we're going to pick up after we just finished Silent Hill. I'm working through South Park right now. I love that game. But I think the next like main game that I'm going to pick up is Dark Souls 1. I've always wanted to play through all of the Dark Souls games. I've only ever played Elden Ring. That was my first experience into a true Souls game. I've played other Souls-likes, but from soft Souls games, Elden Ring was my first. I've messed with DS1 a long time ago, never beat it. I got roughly 10-15 hours into it, but it just wasn't for me back then. I think now I'll have a different appreciation for it, especially if we're like dedicated with recording it. So the next game that I'm going to pick up is Dark Souls 1, and then we'll play through that trilogy / Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Sekiro, all the FromSoft games. And then eventually I'd like to revisit games like Kingsfield. I've never played those, but from what I've watched of them, they seem pretty cool. And then after that, you know, continue on with some of the Silent Hill games in the franchise. I've got a ton of other games on the list that I want to play through. The Baldur's Gate series, the Elder Scrolls, some Final Fantasy games, just a ton of stuff that I want to play. But we'll have to take it on slowly as I can if I get this position with the railroad, because that'll be, oh, there's one. That'll be the main focus in my life moving forward. I'm looking to possibly build a career out of it, so something long-term that I can maybe look towards, you know, having kids with my girlfriend, or, you know, hopefully marrying, buying a house, that kind of thing, instead of renting and living somewhat check to check. But yeah, just a little update on the whole applying process. I told you guys about the position when I was first applying. Looks like it's not going to pan out. I haven't heard anything from them in, God, it's been about a week and 2 days now. So I'm assuming I didn't get it. It was a tough job to get. But But that's okay. It would have been a really rough schedule on me, if I'm being honest. I would have had to do swing shift, which I've done before, but it was a very dramatic swing shift. It was like 4 days of days, then 3 days off, then 4 days of nights, then 2 days off, then back to days for 3 days, then 3 days off, then back to nights for 4 days. And I just would have swung my schedule like 2 or 3 times in a month, which is just, it's a bit brutal for me. The last job that I worked a swing shift at was at least like, 2 weeks of nights and then some time off, and then 2 weeks to like rotate to the days, and then 2 weeks of days, which was a little more manageable because I was just on that schedule more consistently. My body had time to get used to it, but when you're switching up like that, you're losing out on sunlight. It's really, really brutal on the body, if I'm being honest. It was pretty depressing at times too, but this schedule would just be, a Monday through Friday, probably 7 a.m. till 4 or 5 p.m. And then, oh shit. I might have to use a potion here. Yeah, this will just be a little more consistent of a schedule. They're immune to the title charm, of course. But yeah, I'll stop yapping about that now. Just a little update for you guys in case you cared. I'll probably yap about it a little more tomorrow night when we're doing our WoW episode tomorrow night, because I'll have, like I said, the interview is tomorrow. At least it's a phone interview, and then from there I'll, if I pass the vetting process of that, I'll probably have an in-person interview with someone in town where I live, and then hopefully figure out a starting time if that goes well. Thankfully, it's not until the afternoon tomorrow, so I'm not too pressed at like getting to bed super early tonight, but so we'll probably play for a good hour and 15, hour and a half maybe tonight. I'd really like to finish up here in the Badlands, at least for the time being. I think we're going to be brought back to this area later, and start the Swamp of Sorrows. I'm also really excited to start Tenaris pretty soon. We get to start Tenaris, and then after Tenaris, I'm probably going to do Feralis and Felwood. Big crit, 401. Big hits from this guy. He just crit me twice. Get the bandage off. They hit hard already and then they can enrage. It's just like, ooh, that's a little brutal. Let me text the missus back real quick. Okay. Seems like some kind of rundown camp. Wild steel bloom. I really need to clear out my battle net friends list. I have so many like random people that I don't know who they are or how we became friends over the years that I just do not keep in contact with or even like know who they are. And I see so many people just like log on and off, and I'm just like, who is that? See, I really need to like make some time to clear out that Battle.net friends list, but some people from WoW, some people from Hearthstone, some people from Overwatch, some people from all different kinds of Blizzard games, Diablo. Played a lot of Blizzard games. One of the ones that I am excited to start in the future is the StarCraft series. I played those a lot when I was a kid, but I never really paid attention to the story because I was just too young to really get the story and what was going on. But now that I'm older, I'm really excited to one day soon, hopefully, play through those again and see what that was all about. As well as once we're done with my first hardcore WoW character, I think I might start a playthrough of Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, plus the DLCs. I've never played those. I've watched a lot of people play like competitive Warcraft, and it looks pretty cool if I'm being honest, but I'd love to know the backstory as far as some of the things that we've read in these books throughout the landscape, and like see those events play out in real time, or how they, you know, the setup with certain things and involving the story with World of Warcraft, of course. Being such a big fan of this game. Definitely being my favorite MMO of all time. I've played so many other MMOs and none can compete to WoW, if I'm being honest. Like a new MMO comes out, I'm super excited. I give it a try. Feels good, but it just doesn't scratch that same itch that you get from WoW, so it's just like, it's just tough to play other things. a lot of silver here from these junk items. It's about an extra gold piece right there. All of our money now will just go to bank space, food, buying items from vendors, and skills. I can't really get better bags. I just have to get lucky and they have to drop. I could buy bank slots. We plan on buying like at least one more, but I don't think I can take on 2 of these guys. They've got 2,000 health. It's a bit much. Like even with evasion and adrenaline rush and blade flurry, I still think it's a bit too much. Could be wrong about that, but I probably am wrong about that, but I just don't want to have 2 mobs that can crit me for like 175, 200 wailing on me. And then they enrage when they get low. Hey, there's the second one. Need to respect the respawns here. They respawn kind of quickly. That enrage is nasty. Alright, we just need the crumpled scroll fragment. Nice. There it is. Try and make our way out of here without fighting any more of these enraged rock elementals. Talk to Theldurin.
What's on your mind? Oh my, there is a doom approaching. Mark me, a doom. No, I cannot speak of it, cannot utter their names, or they may hear me. But if we learn, yes, if we learn more of them, then maybe we can learn how to foil them. Maybe. Go into Uldaman.
Maybe.
No, I said it. You must find the tablet of Ryune. Yes, find it.
Ryune.
Don't let me speak that name again. It is deep in that place in an ancient chest. That's where it hides ... in a chest crafted before the works of any dwarf.
Oh, we didn't mean to. We were meant to turn in the lost fragments. Did you find those fragments? You'll need the scroll of Myzrael if you want to trap her again before it's too late.
Ah, you found them. Good work, adventurer. These might be the only chance we have against the evil of Myzrael. Just let me find my scrap-ratchet and see if I can reattach these fragments. See you soon.
Summoning the princess. Theldurin the Lost begins searching through his pack. Ah, there's my ratchet. Now let's reattach these scroll fragments. There we are, Bellumbra. The scroll is fixed, hooray! Summoning the princess.
You must defeat Myzrael before she grows in strength. If you do not, then once she has gathered enough power, she will challenge her captors. There are some who think they can control her, but if she can be controlled, then why did the giants chain her in the first place? Crazy logic, eh? To defeat her, summon her at the shards of Myzrael where you first spoke with her. Defeat her and gather her eldritch shackles, then bind them to the shards of Myzrael. Do that, and she will again be trapped.
For a pretty mediocre necklace, but
oh my, there...
We're gonna probably keep that one in the logs for a while. It's even sketchy to try and do this quest, like, solo at 60. I've watched some people solo it at 55, some people solo it at 58, some people solo it at 60, and every time it looks dicey. That's a fight that I'm not really comfortable with. I don't know how I'm going to take it on. I'm probably going to attempt it at 60, just to tie up the story with Myzrael. I think it's really cool. I've never done this quest chain. I didn't know that we were freeing a stone titan, I guess is what she is. She's kind of like a titan, like a guardian of the earth, almost like the creatures from Ulduar. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool though. I'd love to try and take her down, but I am worried that it'd be a brutal fight. If I need to, I'm going to vanish from it for sure, but I think there's a way that, I've seen a rogue do it where he, like, because she it's not just her, you're fighting a bunch of the elements that she controls. So, like, all the fire elements, the earth elements, the lightning elements, all those creatures that we fought to get the bindings in the first place, you have to, like, fight more of those while you fight her. Tons of them. Because it's designed to be a multi-person quest, a group quest. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to study up on videos on how people have taken her down solo in the past. And we'll probably attempt it at 60, but I'm not 100% sure that we'll be able to take it on. I'll give it a chance at 60, but it's a level 50 quest, and it's an elite quest. So I'd feel more comfortable trying to solo it on a class like a druid that has self-healing, and I could root her and do all that kind of stuff. But a rogue, I'm pretty sure you can gouge her, you can kite. I think there was ways that people broke the elements off them by, like, distracting or doing something. I'd have to rewatch the video and how the guy soloed her as a rogue, but it seems very, very intense. I thought Fuzzrock was hard. Or Fuckraz, whatever the fuck his name was. Fuckhead. The rock elemental guardian that was roaming the Arathi Highlands that we soloed. That fight took me like 30 minutes to solo. I was watching the VOD back when I was about to post it and doing some editing. That was like a 30-minute long fight, man. That was crazy. Because the first time we pulled him too far and he reset, so I had to like go start all over again. Thankfully, a druid passing by was like nice enough to throw me a hot Didaka.
What can I help you with?
Necropokes. Gave him a wave.
Where would you like to fly to?
Alright, I think we're done here for now. The Eldritch Shackles.
Where would you like to fly to?
I think now we're going to head to Gromgall and Stranglethorn, and we're going to run through... let's take a look at our path here. Starting Gromgall, we're going to run through Duskwood, avoiding any Alliance elites. We'll talk to Deathstalker Zoratus, learn nothing but the truth. What is this quest? Speak with Apothecary Faustin at Beggar's Haunt. So it's probably a chain in this area. Then we're going to run through the Deadwind Pass. Is that the name of this area? Yes, the Deadwind Pass. There are like level 50 mobs in here, I'm pretty sure, so I need to be very careful. And then just run into the Swamp of Sorrows. We're going to first get the flight path here. Probably set my hearth here. And go talk to Magtor. Talk to Dar. Turn in the quest for Fel'zerul. Don't I have a quest in Sunken Treasures, I think is what it is? We do have a quest to turn in at Booty Bay, the Elven Gem samples. But wasn't there a quest here that wanted me to go to the Swamp Stars? Yes, Dream Dust in the Swamp. Bring 10 specks of Dream Dust to Kazakh in Booty Bay. So I want to grab that quest too. So actually we're going to head to Booty Bay first and then come back to Gromgall. We've got a quest to turn in at Gromgall too, so we've got business all over the world. We've got a quest to turn back into Fizzle. We're starting to open up our quests here in the Gizmorium of Gadgetzan and Teneris. But first things first, I do want to start the quest in Swamp because we're starting to outlevel them. And I want to do this zone. That seems pretty cool. And then we'll continue with the south of Stranglethorn. We'll finish up the last few quests that we have in the marsh. We'll maybe attempt these quests again here in Desolus. Still, I'm not sure about Khan Hrothra, excuse me, and the Corruptor. Still not too sure about those, if I'm strong enough for those yet. I am a little worried about them. We might sit on those for a little longer. And then, of course, we have the Hinterlands, which we can start this zone soon. I'm hiding all the Find OOX quests because they drop off of random mobs in those zones. You just have to keep killing mobs and hope that you get it eventually. But we are getting close to being able to do the quests here. Seem like 48, 49, so around the same time that I'm going to be taking on Felwood is around the same time that I'll be taking on the Hinterlands. So yeah, we've just got a lot of quests. We also have quests here in, what is this, the Blasted Lands? Searing Gorge? Yeah, Searing Gorge, huh? Like level... Yeah. Level 47, 45, 47. The Key to Freedom, Divine Retribution. Seems like the Key to Freedom is just like a dropped item on any of these mobs, any of these Dark Iron mobs, so probably the higher ends of 40 will do Searing Gorge. probably in between Daenerys and Feralis. Yeah, we're about ready to start Feralis as well, so. Swamposaurus first, then the jungle, the southern bits, then finishing up any loose ends as far as like Desolus, Deathwallow. Then we'll start with probably Daenerys and Feralis. And then from there move into the Hinterlands, Searing Gorge, and Felwood. As far as the 50 bracket goes, I've got no idea how we're going to do the 50 bracket. I know probably towards the later end of the 50 bracket, like 57 through 60, I might run out of quests and I might just be grinding mobs for experience, because a lot of people on their journey from 1 to 60, they do a lot of dungeons. That gives them a ton of experience that we are just not getting. So I might have to just mob grind for some of our journey. And if I do, that'll be fine. I'm actually like excited and okay with that. We'll just pop on, work on some professions, grind some mobs, and like winter spring for like an hour, hour and a half, until we hit 60. And then, you know, call it there, wrap it up. Get ready to be done with this character. Maybe do a couple of side things as far as like, you know, get our skills up to 300, get our professions up to 300, finish up some hard elite quests that I'm scared to do right now. I won't be as scared to do it at 60 because worst case scenario, you know, we've already got them to 60, but ideally I want to keep every character like minted and alive at 60. So my goal is, once we're finished with the rogue, as far as like, you know, like I said, skills, professions, weapon mastery, quests, once I'm satisfied, stop and shift over to the Alliance and start working on the Druid. But the Druid I'm not going to be as like completionist with, as far as like wanting to complete every zone, and you know, I'm still going to be learning about certain zones that we didn't do on the Horde side of things, like Dun Moreau, Teldrassil, sorry. Yeah, just all these different things. The monogrammed sash, level 50. Oh, holy shit. Mokrash, level 50 elite. Damn. So yeah, like I said, we probably won't be as like completionist, but I still want to like learn about some of the zones that I can't do on the Horde side of things. But the rogue being my main character, I did want to be very completionist with. So, Fleetmaster Seahorn, what brings you to Booty Bay, rogue?
Leave it to good old Shakes O'Brien. I knew that he was the right captain for the mission. Say, adventurer, you seem to be an adventurous type. My fleet is stuck in Booty Bay until we can restock. There are some heavy things brewing here and abroad, and I need to get some top-secret correspondence to Shakes O'Brien, who is tied up off the Arathi coast. Can I trust you to deliver this message safely and in confidence?
Sure, we'll eventually find our way back there. Krazkek. Dream dust in the swamp.
Getting the information on Naz is quite a favor, adventurer. Yes, quite a favor. But you've come all the way from the Shimmering Flats to get it. Are you willing to travel some more? While I contact my sources, why don't you gather something for me, eh?
What will it be? How about dream dust from the dragon whelps of the Swamp of Sorrows?
Yes, I'd love some dream dust from my snuff pouch.
Get it for me, adventurer, and I'll give you the information you seek.
10 specks of dream dust. Right. What was Tranrek?
My cousin Tranrek is in a tight spot. He promised me a load of scarab shells weeks ago, and he hasn't delivered. He's my cousin, so I'd hate to have to send someone to Gadgetson to break something on him. Can you speak to Tranrek for me? Let him know he needs to get that delivery together before I do something rash. Gadgetson is in northern Tanaris in Kalimdor.
We're going to hold off on that because we'll be doing this zone before we do Gadgetson.
How may I be of service?
Let's head to Grumgol. Neeka's report. I can't remember if we read this or not, but Helgrum, my compliments to whoever issued the order to establish our base of Kargath in the Badlands. It is an ideal locale to train our troops. Its harsh weather, vicious wildlife, warlike natives, and complete lack of outside support make this place a crucible from which only the finest warriors and scouts will emerge. Good planning. Well done. I will describe the surrounding lands as the scout of Kargath has surveyed. Red rocky hills and dry flats that offer little support for life. A blazing sun and severe winds. No lakes or streams, not even scattered pools. To find water, denizens must dig deep, muddy wells, or suck scant moisture from the rare cactus or spinny weed. In short, hot, hard living. The Badlands are filled with enemies, ogres roaming the blistering sands, ambushing the unwary. Dark Iron dwarves inhabit a barracks east of Kargath and battle their lighter-skinned cousins in Loch Madan to the north. Brutal, primitive beasts called trogs haunt any scrap of shade they find and defend it savagely. And in eastern Badlands, in the Lethlor ravine, there are dragons. We don't know how many and we don't know how big, since scouts who get too close never return. It need not be said that we, those garrisoned at Kargath, are quite happy with our assignment. We stay tough here because if we get soft, then we die. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Neeka Bloodscar, Head Scout, Kargath. Very cool. Talk to Kinwile, the Troll Witch Doctor. There is an angry spirit about you, brother. What brings you to Kinwile? Ah, I now see. The spirit of this orc is bound in our world, boiling with rage from a task yet undone. Well, let us have words with this angry orc. I am eager to hear what so angry an orc has to say. Kinwile places Marg's head into the cauldron. Marg speaks. Speak with heads. Peer into the cauldron, Belumbra. Marg wishes to speak. Cursed mugshell. You can't kill Marg. Ah, but I am dead, so it must have slain me. But my mission. You, Belumbra, must complete it. While near Theramore, I spied a group of Alliance soldiers camped on the beach, and one soldier wore a pendant laden with more gems than any soldier could afford. That night I snuck into their camp and stole the pendant, but on my return to a base, a muckshell crab man killed me. Belumbra, you must find that muckshell and recover the pendant. Bring the jewel pendant to Nazir in Brackenwall Village. Sure. Hold off on those two quests for when we come back to Stranglethorn, because my log is just already very full. I need to have space to do stuff in the Swamp of Sorrows. We've killed Gluggle before. Alright, let's lock in and focus up. We're running through dangerous territories here. Dangerous territories. More so the Deadwind Pass than Darkshore itself, but Darkshore does have some... I mean, it's a human alliance-based area. There are elites that roam the area that could, you know, definitely scare me a little bit. But more so Deadwind Pass is where I need to really focus up. Fluber! Gave him a wave. Just saw a solitary man flying by. So let me discover Rebel Camp so I can have it crossed off on the map. Private Merrill. Plague spreader. I'm not gonna help him. You know what, I'm gonna help him. I got you, Merrill. You better not hurt me after this. Whew. Saved a skin. I'll definitely have to come back to Duskwood, Darkshire? Is that what this place is? Yeah, it's Darkshire. We'll come back to Darkshire in the future and really explore this place as far as map completion, but for right now I think I want to just try and get through this area. Get to the Swamp of Sorrows. There's the elite that I was a little worried about, Stitches. It's a level 35 elite. On the Alliance side, if you're questing in this place, you run into Stitches, that thing could just destroy you. I actually really like Darkshire. It's very haunted, very almost like Bloodborne-esque vibes to me. I believe we are coming up on the Alliance town, where I'll, skate around the outside of it, but I do want to see if I can explore it. A lot of copper and tin out here. There we go, Darkshire. See if we can possibly swing down here and discover what's down here. Nefaru, the rotting orchid. Sorry, the rotting orchard. And then some kind of farm over here. Some graveyard? I can't remember what's over here. Tranquil Gardens Cemetery, that's what it is. Black Widow hatchling. Blind Mary. Be mindful of the outskirts of Darkshire. There's a rare up here. Neuraxis looks like a rare spider. Not too worried about it. This is what we're looking for. Beggar's Haunt. Deathstalker Zeratus.
Our expeditionary force was sent at Varimathras's behest to survey Lower Azeroth. While out scouting, I noticed a human infiltrator spying on Beggar's Haunt. Before I could apprehend him, some of our orcish brethren captured him and took him to Stonard, their stronghold in Swamp of Sorrows. I want to help our orcish allies. They did not see our camp here, but nonetheless, I want to lend a hand, work with Faustan here to develop a truth serum for our friend in Stonard.
Okay. This is Faustan.
Zeratus was just telling me about the nosy little infiltrator before you arrived. Quite a problem indeed.
The last thing we need is a busybody sniffing around Beggar's Haunt. I am sure the orcs of Stonard would be quite anxious to hear what our friend has to say. Seeing that they are our allies, we must help them to get any information they can from the human. Work with me, adventurer, and we will deliver a truth serum to Stonard. For the Horde. Did I get that right? I have just the right serum in mind. It will deal with the truth in precisely the way the truth should be dealt with. For this concoction, I will need several Shadow Panther hearts from the swamp. I also require the enchanted fungus off of the Maya Lord who resides there. I'm sure one as able as you, adventurer, can persuade him to part with some. Now the hard part will be locating a deep strider tumor from far off Desolus. Very rarely the giants there become ill and a tumor forms. Now, off you go.
So that's that rare, well, it's not rare, it's more of an elite, but remember that elite roaming giant that we saw many times while we were questing in Desolus? That's where we get this tumor. So this tumor is going to kind of be tricky to get. I think I can gouge kite that thing. If so, it won't be as bad. But it's still going to be pretty tricky. Alright, here we go. Let's focus up. Be mindful of the crevices. Abandon hope, all ye who enter. Turn back. And there's just like corpses hanging from the trees. Jesus. Stick to the path. This way. Be very careful on this bridge not to fall. No mobs just yet. Oh god. Shit's a question mark to me, bro. Okay, good. The mob was further down south. I think that mob is like level 55 or close to 60, which is insane. That thing would mess me up. Yay, we made it! The Swamp of Sorrows. Iron. Another swampy area. Woohoo! Sorrow spinners. It's nice to be in a new zone. Similar to Dustwallow, but Stonard Scouts. Loktar, brother. Splinter Spear Junction. Let's go ahead and make our way towards Stonard. Okay, the path splits here. We can go up, or we can go down. Looks like Stonard's probably down. Cool little bridge, though. Swamp of Sorrows is an area that I'm not super familiar with, so I'm excited to be here for the first time and really know what's going on with the questing. Starting to see some buildings in the distance. Swamp jaguars. Oh yeah, baby. This is sick. Stonard is so cool. Zundartha. Now this is a horde encampment right here.
Like to fly to?
Break. New flight path. In one more level, we get a new set of food, so I'm just going to try and use all the cured ham that we have for now and not buy more. There's a warrior trainer here. Let's talk to Karakul.
If we are to make these new lands ours, then we must have places to rest our battle-weary bodies. Lay your axe by the fire and share the stories of your mighty battles.
My man is passed out by the fire. Dar, brother. Actually, let's report to who we need to report to first. Weapon merchant? Do you have any rare? You know what? Let's talk to who we need to talk to first. We're looking for Helgrum the Swift. Damn, look at this place. Oh, shit, another book. We do need to... I think I'm going to take us back to... let's look at our macro. Books. Hammerfall. I think we're going to end tonight at... Well, we'll hearth back here, but I'm going to fly back to Hammerfall and read the book there. But now I'm going to add a new... It's not the inn, town hall. We have a new book to read here, The Dark Portal and the Fall of Stormwind. That's sick. You've got Warlock Trainers, Master Alchemists, Demon Masters. Dude, Stonard is sick. Dispatch Commander Raug, Fel'zerul, and Helgrum the Swift. Helgrum. Oh, 2 books. The New Horde. 2 books. Helgrum, you returned. You have a report? Yes, we have a report from one of your scouts in Kargath.
Thank you, adventurer. From Neeka's report, I see the Alliance is not without its own problems, and we may find that some enemies are shared between us.
Alright. Oh, 3 books. Rise of the Horde. A lot of books here in Stonard. Wow. 3 books. Fel'zerul.
The warchief sent us to investigate strange happenings at the Temple of Atal'Hakkar. The Atal'ai trolls are a tribe of dark casters known for practicing forbidden magic. You can imagine how astonished we were when we arrived here to discover
the temple had been sunk. The green dragons now guard the site, claiming to be protectors of Azeroth. We need to discover what happened, explore around the Pool of Tears, and gather Atal'ai artifacts. From those, I can begin to piece together this puzzle.
Whoa, a full gold. Hell yeah. Pool of Tears. No skin ball. Any other books here? Seems like some kind of voodoo mama juju business going on. Giant wine pots, I'd imagine. Arcane goods vendor. Theldurin. Oh. Oh, that's nice. I'm picking that up for sure. Probably gonna put the Scroll of Myzrael in our bank. Let's talk to Hartash. Maybe he's got... No. I was hoping he had like a one of green item that we could buy from him. Mail and plate. Nothing. Cloth and leather? Maybe? No. Okay. Now let's go talk to Dar. Lack of surplus, and then fresh meat. This sty's a little shy of comfy, but it has history, so Stonard must be important to someone. I'd gamble that's why we stay here. It sure ain't for the view. Don't even look like home. Noglanos. See, like I said, lack of surplus. Sorry.
I'm working on getting some supplies together for our outpost near the beach to the east. Tokar does what he can, but between shifts of guard duty and cooking for his soldiers, there's not much time left in the day. They do enjoy cooking up some sawtooth meat when they can, but I haven't had time to get them another shipment. Would you mind helping them out? The young sawtooths aren't as tasty as the older ones, so stay clear of those. Give them a year or two to get to full size.
Fair.
There's a high demand for the succulent taste of crawler meat among my customers, especially the meat from the monstrous crawlers. If you plan on heading to the coast, then I could easily make it worth your while to bring me back some of their legs to have transported back to Orgrimmar. The coast is to the east from here, and you should have no problem finding the creatures scurrying along the beaches and under the sea.
Some grilled king crawler legs and a leather chef's belt. All right. There's also another town along the beach somewhere, I'm pretty sure, but... All right, like I said, we're going to wrap it up here for tonight, but not yet. We're going to fly to... We've made our inn here. Yes, okay. We're going to fly back to Hammerfall, and I'm going to read the book that we left there, and then we'll wrap it up here for the night.
Where would you like
Actually,
to fly to?
I'm probably going to wrap it up in Hammerfall, and then tomorrow when we continue, we can head down to Shakes O'Brien. We'll check for our rare Hearth after we're done talking to Shakes O'Brien, and then just quest here for an hour or so. We need to learn instant poisons rank 4, rupture rank 4, and then everything else is leisure. At least right now, I don't really need it, so I'm going to save my money. We'll get it later, but... Faint, no. Kick, no. Expose armor, that actually might be worth it. I think expose armor could be worth it, because we can get 2 points in expose armor. So yeah, we'll learn expose armor rank 2 and rank 3. So this way when we're fighting like rock elementals, humanoids with shields, anything with high armor values, we can, get a 2 or a 3 point expose armor on them and reduce their armor by a good bit, making all of our auto attacks just hit much harder. So that's what, a good 2 gold right there. Yeah, call that 2 gold. That's 3 gold. So 6 gold, because there's some change here. And then instant poisons. That's 9 gold. So yeah, about 9 gold in training. We've got 24 right now, so that would take us to... what, like 15 gold left? Something like that, yeah. Which isn't bad. What do we get at 46? Hemorrhage. It's more for if you're in assassination. We also get Garrote, level 5, Expose Armor, level 4, Sinister Strike, level 3, so that'll be 3. I should probably level up Gouge as well. Well, I don't need to. It's not really doing much. The damage is negligible. You're not really using Gouge for the damage, so yeah, we can leave that. This will be 3, and then this will be 6, and that'll be 9, so... By the time we hit 14, we'll be spending... God, the total cost is 100 gold in training for all those skills that we don't have. We'll be spending 18 gold by the time that we hit 46 in training. Leaving out the north of Red Ridge, you get to the Black Rock Pass. This place is crazy looking. It's the first time we've flown through this area. Level 53 Elite Dragonkins. Whew. Level 50 Fire Gut Ogres. The Burning Steps is going to be a fun zone to do. Visually, I think this place is sick. Just this war-torn landscape, and at the center, you have just this giant pit of lava in a dwarven kind of kingdom. I wonder if we'll actually pass by it or no. Blackrock. I think Blackrock, I'd love to know the backstory of it, because I don't really know, but I think it's just a... Yeah, Blackrock Stronghold. I think it's just a dwarven stronghold, obviously. It's in the name. But to be honest, I just never really paid attention to the story when I was younger, so... Coming back as I'm older and learning the story is really cool. Magma Elementals. Ooh. Those will be scary. The Cauldron. Dude, Searing Gorge is also going to be a crazy place to quest. Mythril. Mythril? I'm sure of it. We could technically come here now, but it would be a challenge for sure. But we're playing catch up on so many other zones that I want to learn and experience. Okay, that's the path right there. It's not too bad. There isn't a flight path to get to Searing Gorge, is there? You just have to fly to the Badlands and then run in. No, there is, okay. By Grisha. And Vargruk is the flight path into the Burning Steppes. Okay, next level we finish off improved eviscerate. Then we start getting to put points into improved slice and dice. This is one that I'm really excited for because our main bread and butter combat spender is slice and dice, and this will increase it by 15% every point. So 15, 30, 45, meaning a 2-point slice and dice is going to be 18 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. Like, just craziness. We just get longer value out of our slice and dice, meaning I don't have to apply it as much. Really, really nice, really useful. There's that Dwarven Stronghold. I'd love to go check that place out at some point, because I bet you there might be like a book in the kingdom that has to do with the Dark Iron Dwarves and gives us more lore on Thracian and the Dark Iron Dwarves. We've learned a decent bit about them, but who was that? Billy Gates. One level away from their mount. Now this is a flight. I feel like Harry Potter in that scene. Woo! Where the fucking talons are scraping against the water. Copper in the water. Copper in the water. What's really cool is we read a book in, I think it was Bael'Modon, is where we read it, about this dam. And these were the old dwarven masters of the 3 clans. That's their faces right there. I never knew like what dwarves those were and why they were like there. But once we read that book, I was like, oh shit, that's it. It's so cool to fly past that and see that. Into the wetlands. The wetlands will definitely be in... Oh, someone's doing mage pulls. The wetlands are definitely a place that we'll learn about from the Alliance side of things, but there's not a lot of horde business here. I do need to come back and explore this area as well as Darkshire, of course, but more for a later time. We've completely explored the Arathi Highlands. We've completely explored... not South Shore, Hillsbrad, thank you. We've completely explored Silverpine. We've completely explored the Alterac Mountains, Tearsfall Glades. Obviously, Durotar, the Barrens. What is this zone? Stone Talon, yes. Ashenvale. Thousand Needles. We've got a lot of zones that we've completely explored, so pretty good for us. Still need to get the southern end of Dustwallow Marsh. We still need to discover the southern end of Stranglethorn. We've got a lot of areas left to discover in Swamp of Sorrows now, but we're just getting there, so, you know, grace period there. We completely explored all of Desolace. We're just getting into Gadgetzan, so we haven't touched like any of this, but that'll be in the future. Yeah, I'm really happy with the progress on this character. We've definitely been very thorough with playing on this character, and I'm having a really good time and feel good about our completion. But yeah, I think we're gonna park it here. I'm gonna read that book that's left here. I can't remember how many pages it is. I think it's quite a few, so, you know, get a couple extra minutes out of that. And then we'll rest at the inn here, and we'll head down to Shakes O'Brien tomorrow when we start, and then hearth back to the Swamp of Sorrows and continue on there tomorrow. So let's find that book. That's that good shit right there. There it is. Sargeras and the Betrayal. How many pages is this? 14. Alright. They're not long pages though, so let's buckle up. Over time, demonic entities made their way into the Titan's world from the Twisting Nether, and the Pantheon elected its greatest warrior, Sargeras, to act as its first line of defense. A noble giant of molten bronze, Sargeras carried out his duties for countless millennia, seeking out and destroying these demons wherever he could find them. Over the eons, Sargeras encountered two powerful demonic races, both of which were bent on gaining power and dominance over the physical universe. The Eridar, an insidious race of devilish sorcerers, used their warlocks' magics to invade and enslave a number of worlds. The indigenous races of those worlds were mutated by the Eridar's malevolent powers and turned into demons themselves. We might have read this already in another inn. I think there might be multiple copies in different inns, but we're going to continue on. Though Sargeras' nearly limitless powers were more than enough to defeat the vile Eridar, he was greatly troubled by the creature's corruption and all-consuming evil. Incapable of fathoming such depravity, the great Titan began to slip into a brooding depression, despite his growing unease. Sargeras rid the universe of the warlocks by trapping them within a corner of the Twisting Nether. While his confusion and misery deepened, Sargeras was forced to contend with another group intent on disrupting the Titan's order, the Nathrezim. This dark race of vampiric demons, also known as Dreadlords, conquered a number of populated worlds by possessing their inhabitants and turning them to shadow. We've definitely read this book before. I think this one's in Ratchet. The nefarious, scheming Dreadlords turned whole nations against one another by manipulating them into unthinking hatred and mistrust. Sargeras defeated the Nathrezim easily, but their corruption affected him deeply. As doubt and despair overwhelmed Sargeras' senses, he lost all faith not only in his mission, but also in the Titan's vision of an ordered universe. Eventually he came to believe that the concept of order itself was folly, and that chaos and depravity were the only absolutes within the dark, lonely universe. His fellow Titans tried to persuade him of his error and calm his raging emotions, but he disregarded their more optimistic beliefs as self-serving delusions. Storming from their ranks forever, Sargeras set out to find his own place in the universe. Although the Pantheon was sorrowful at his departure, the Titans could never have predicted just how far their lost brother would go. By the time Sargeras' madness had consumed the last vestige of his valiant spirit, he believed that the Titans themselves were responsible for creation's failure. Deciding at last to undo their works throughout the universe, he resolved to form an unstoppable army that would set the physical universe aflame. Even Sargeras' titanic form became distorted from the corruption that plagued his once noble heart. His eyes, hair, and beard erupted in fire, and his metallic bronze skin split open to reveal an endless furnace of blistering hate. In his fury, Sargeras shattered the prisons of the Eridar and the Nathrezim, and set the loathsome demons free. These cunning creatures bowed before the Dark Titan's vast rage and offered to serve him in whatever malicious ways they could. From the ranks of the powerful Eridar, Sargeras picked 2 champions to command his demonic army of destruction. Kil'jaeden the Deceiver was chosen to seek out the darkest races in the universe and recruit them into Sargeras' ranks. The second champion, Archimond the Defiler, was chosen to lead Sargeras' vast armies into battle against any who might resist the Titan's will. Kil'jaeden's first move was to enslave the vampiric Dreadlords under his terrible power. The Dreadlords served as his personal agents throughout the universe, and they took pleasure in locating primitive races for their master to corrupt and bring into the fold. First amongst the Dreadlords was Tichondrius the Darkener. Tichondrius served Kil'jaeden as the perfect soldier and agreed to bring Sargeras' burning will to all the dark corners of the universe. The mighty Archimonde also empowered agents of his own, calling upon the malefic Pit Lords and their barbarous leader, Manaroth, the Destructor. Archimonde hoped to establish a fighting elite that would scour creation of all life. Once Sargeras saw that his armies were amassed and ready to follow his every command, he launched his raging forces into the vastness of the Great Dark. He referred to his growing army as the Burning Legion. To this date, it is still unclear how many worlds they've consumed and burned on their unholy burning crusade across the universe. So yeah, we've definitely read that book before. I remember a lot of that detail, but I figured it was worth another read. I've got a little bit of time, so I'm actually going to take us back to the Undercity. There's a book in the Undercity that I want to read that we haven't read, and I might as well knock it off tomorrow when we start. Or, I'll check how many pages it is now, and maybe we'll just go ahead and knock it off the list. And then all we have left is the 3 books at Stonard that we haven't read, but still working on those new shoulders. We've looked for Logrash quite a few times, but I've only found him once, and when we did find him, I got the blue item instead of the green item that I was looking for, so. Is Fel'zerul roaming the Highlands? Myzrael's guardian? Her jailer? If this book is 8 pages or less, we'll probably just go ahead and read it tonight, but if it's much longer, I might read it at the start of tomorrow's episode, and then we can hearth back to the Swamp of Sorrows, or maybe even fly, and then just continue on. That guy's farming ore for sure. Moon luck. I think I've seen him in the caves over here when I'm farming ore myself. I can't blame him. The Highlands are a great place to farm ore. Also, I'd love to know the origins of this wall. Thoradin's wall. Is Thoradin one of the masters at Stromgarde? Let me look this up as we're flying. Who was Thoradin? Thoradin, also known as Thoradin Lothlar, in some accounts, was the leader of the Arathi tribe of humans. He led them... Oh, Big Samras. He led them to unify the various human tribes into the great kingdom of Arathor. The predecessors of the Empire of Arathor founded the capital of Strom and forged an alliance with the High Elves in the Troll Wars. Okay. So he was the leader of Strom, the Stromgarde Keep. So that's his wall. Very cool. This seems more along the lines of like actual Warcraft lore that we might learn about this. So it's cool to like see it now, and then later when we play, see all that ore. Later when we play Warcraft, we'll learn about a lot of this. Thoradin, unifier of humanity. Damn. Thoradin Lothar. A huge wall between the Arathi Highlands and Hillsbrad has been either named in his memory or built by himself, or one of his descendants bearing the same name. His personal sigil was a red clenched fist. This banner was later incorporated into the banner of the Kingdom of Stromgarde, though the tabards bear the sigil of the House of Trollbane. Very cool. So just like I thought, yeah. He was the ruler of the Stromgarde Keep, or Strom, as it was called. The Kingdom of Strom. Stromgarde is like the name of the keep itself, yeah. Very, very cool. The spear didn't really have anything crazy. I mean, he's got a decent cape, a leather belt, but I doubt it's better than what we have, and then, you know, a nice pair of bracers for a warrior probably, but... I could smelt down this ore as well, but I'm just going to sell it, honestly, because, again, our bank is... Yeah, we got 40 bars. I'm not going to use more than that. Back to Bull. What a name. Alright, I believe the book is at the inn. Thank you, brother. There it is. Civil War in the Plague Lands. How many pages? Oh, it's only 4. Okay. Ner'zhul, the Lich King, knew that his time was short. Imprisoned within the Frozen Throne, he suspected that Kil'jaeden would send his agents to destroy him. The damage caused by Illidan's spell had ruptured the Frozen Throne. Thus, the Lich King was losing his power daily. Desperate to save himself, he called his greatest mortal servant to his side, the Death Knight Prince Arthas. Though his powers were drained by the Lich King's weakness, Arthas had been involved in a civil war in Lordaeron. Half of the standing undead forces, led by the banshee Sylvanas Windrunner, staged a coup for control over the undead army. Arthas, called by the Lich King, was forced to leave the Scourge in the hands of his lieutenant Kel'Thuzad, as the war escalated throughout the Plague Lands. Ultimately, Sylvanas and her rebel undead, known as the Forsaken, claimed the ruined capital city of Lordaeron as their own, constructing their own bastion beneath the wrecked city. The Forsaken vowed to defeat the Scourge and drive Kel'Thuzad and his minions from the land. Weakened but determined to save his master, Arthas reached Northrend only to find Illidan's Naga and Blood Elves waiting for him. He and his Nerubian allies raced against Illidan's forces to reach the ice-crowned glacier and defend the Frozen Throne. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, at one point it was Arthas and Kil'jaeden here kind of dealing in the Plague Lands, both east and western, just spreading disease. But eventually Arthas had to leave to defend Ner'zhul, the original Lich King, and then Sylvanas and the Forsaken kind of won a victory over the land. And of course, Kil'jaeden is currently there still, overlooking Naxxramas, which is in the Western Plague Lands in Classic, while Arthas is in Northrend, kind of becoming the new Lich King, which we find out later in Wrath of the Lich King, because he obviously dons the helmet because Ner'zhul's power is fading, and he's stuck inside the helmet. So all that's really cool lore to learn. But all right, guys, we're gonna call it here for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow night when we continue on. I'll let you know how the job interview goes. Wish me luck. And yeah, peace and love, gamers. God bless.